We are here in West Virginia. We're both at my high school, Berkeley Springs High School, and we figured that we'd have better luck with the Wi-Fi here at my high school. So we wanted to talk a little bit about what we've been doing for the last 3.5 weeks since school started. We started school August 20th. And we had some really crazy summer weather that we thought that you may have heard about, but we thought we might share with you some photographs of some of the weather that we've had. What we have up on the screen right now is a storm that struck the East Coast, or the whole Mid-Atlantic region, on August 29th?
Or June 29th.
Oh, I'm sorry, June 29th, excuse me. And about 16 people were killed from Ohio to New Jersey. You can see that down on the bottom. In a storm that is called derecho. I was actually on my way to Colorado, so Carol experienced it firsthand.
It was very, very severe, very sudden. I know we spoke about this at the meetings in Boulder, and it's been a great, fortunately, and the students were also, so they come to this with first-hand knowledge that yes, this is happening, and the trees were down on my yard, and everyone, it really generated a tremendous amount of information to exchange stories and talk about stories. And at the beginning of our school year, we always get, one or two new students, and some of our students have come from areas not exactly in the Berkeley Springs area, but in the Ohio areas, the surrounding region. And they also, these were the school, where the event was happening, but they could share part of that weather-related event. So it's, and also just to see the sheer size of this, we drove, on our vacation, so they could put kind of a reality to that.
Okay, and Then we also talked with our students about the record heat that we experienced this past summer. That was something that they could really relate to. Again, I was in Colorado, on my way to Colorado, so I managed to dodge a lot of the heat this fall. Why has it been so hot? We haven't suffered the same kind of drought that you all have in the West, but we have had that record heat, which is pretty miserable in a humid region, such as the Mid-Atlantic.
And another point would be one of the protocols that we're working on is just basically collecting just local atmospheric data. And the students have been going out on a daily basis and collecting, just basic temperature, just reading a thermometer, understanding, getting a concept of the, Fahrenheit and Celsius scale. One of the things we have been working on is just getting them to use the equipment properly and having these numbers and being able to say, okay, this is what it was like in July, and this is what our temperatures were like in August, and just today, 46 degrees this morning, 86 degrees this afternoon. So our ambient temperatures are changing during the day, and students are measuring that. And we just got our weather station, so we're pretty excited about that. We don't have it up and running yet. We have to do a little protocol with the school to get permission to post, put the post in and what have you. Part of our building committee, I'm sure other schools are looking at that situation as well. But now the students can take what data was collected before they came to school, what data has been collected since they've been in school, and we're starting to generate, some actual, some real numbers, which is very exciting.
Okay, and these were just some of the significant events that occurred in June. I just found this on the internet. They do talk about that severe storm that hit the Mid-Atlantic, the dry conditions in the western part of the United States, a lot of flash flooding, an active storm up in Washington, and even Alaska and Hawaii were experiencing some unusual weather this past summer.
No, and one of the things that we are able to do when we're at the beginning of school, it's always hurricane season. So we've just been looking at more closely to Hurricane Isaac, because that, of course, we've got heavy rainfall from that. And our next slide, which we'll shift to, this is just local flooding. We had a severe flash flood right here in Berkeley Springs, and I live a half hour to the west. I did not receive a drop of rain at my house. And my students, who live probably another 15 miles further west of where my home is, did not get any rain from this. But they have friends and relatives and cousins in Berkeley Springs, and they were amazed, like totally astonished that, a half hour down the road where they had been just that previous evening, this whole area is flooded out. On the picture on the left, that's a municipal ice cream shop, and the standing water was because of a small, as the river, the Capean River drains to the Potomac, just totally overflooded its banks, and the community hasn't seen a flood like this in 20 years.
And I live to the south, and we didn't have a drop of rain either. We actually were driving through the storm on a Saturday evening. We were heading north, and by the time we got just over the Potomac River, which is about 6 miles north of town, flood damage to a lot of our downtown businesses. So this is something that we've been able to talk to the interesting.
Now, there's our main corridor, which is a small two-lane highway, Route 522, and if you recall, when we were introducing ourselves in July, one of the photographs, you come right into the downtown community, and there was a huge rock slide on that area, and that is now just being reconstructed. It's all well and good, you know, talk to students and say, oh yes, you know, there are mudslides, and these are the events that happen in these, you know, catastrophic events. But and I know Anne is out there, and I know we talked about where you were, and that you could probably see a tremendous amount of flooding where you were also.
I guess we're in our 4th week. We have not, up at Berkeley Springs High School, have not had a lot of opportunity to get, you know, into our project yet, but I've been kind of setting the stage. We've been talking a lot about scientific method. We've been reviewing measurements. I have mostly sophomores, and trying to get an idea of what they learned as 9th graders. Teaching them how to take accurate temperature readings. We've just started our research protocol, our research projects, and have brainstormed a little bit on some of that odd summer weather. I will be administering the student survey very soon. We haven't been able to get into our computer lab yet. And we are just beginning to discuss research design. My botany students, I'm teaching a botany course for the first time, and they will be using the Green Up, Green Down protocol. We've already actually identified an area that we want to be looking at. We've got a grove of pin oak trees. And my biology students will be using the ozone protocol for their class project. And I have a picture of some of our students. We've been working on an outdoor classroom. They spent Tuesday, which was the day, what we call the day of caring, building this outdoor classroom. They put together 6 picnic tables, and if you can see it, they put together some benches on a little hill that's going to be kind of like a little amphitheater. We're hoping to put our weather station in this area. You can also see the grove of pin oaks up here on the hill, where we will be doing our Green Up, Green Down with my botany students. The kids really got into this project. They were self-starters. You know, they jumped right in and started doing the work, which is encouraging. And I think I've got some really good students to work with this year.
And here in Pawpaw, we've been, you know, basically doing, you know, many of the same things, working through just the basic scientific method. We've been using soils as our prime example. It's easy to bring into the classroom. We've been going out and designating some soil sites. One of the most difficult things is for students to realize that the soil that we have in our region what parent material is. So we've been working just with some basic functional information about what parent material is, why the soil in West Virginia is primarily shale, and why certain crops are or are not grown here. We're not a big farming community here. So students that have lived in other areas actually calculating dew point and daily temperatures every day. And we're also heading toward the direction of working with the ozone protocol, and the atmospheric data, collecting the ozone data. And just, we're getting the students to realize that this data is going to be put somewhere where they can actually use this information. I'm the only science teacher in our school, and I wanted everyone to do everything, and that reality, you can't do that. So I have certain students, I've broken them into groups, and I have a group of students that, even though everyone is collecting data for soils, one group in the class will be designated to be responsible for helping to input that data into the computer. And then another group will be, more of the focus group for the green up, green down. And that way everyone will be sort of responsible for something. And that way every class has, more of a designated focus. And that's been actually really effective. The students will ask me, we still have our ordinary content standards that we have to meet, and we're trying to meet as many of them, through projects like this. And last year we put in a rain garden, and the students now can go out, and this rain garden is, quadrupled in size. It has flowering plants. We did have a few severe. The kids actually said to me, "Can we go out and see if the rain garden is doing what it's supposed to be doing?" And that's exactly what I want the kids to be doing. So, planting trees, and the picture on the lower right-hand corner is the rain garden as we were, digging it out, and the photo above is the plants, and I'll try to post onto the Globe site what the rain garden looks like today. So it's really neat that these kids have had, multiple years of, following through on things. So that's, I guess, basically, in a nutshell, for me, the student surveys.
That was great. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to don't forget our next webinar is 26th September 2012. It's also Wednesday, and it's at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I will send out the same reminders beforehand, including times for everybody. And our career speaker is Matt Fenzel, and he's actually a Globe alumni. He was with Globe when he was a student and now is, I believe, an engineer. He's talking about his experiences with Globe as a student and also his experiences now in the real world. So our teacher presenters will be Sarah, Carlos, Julia, and Lauren from Florida, and then Aaron, Ranjana, and Anne. And the last thing I wanted to mention was our calendar competition is ending here pretty soon. So September 30th is the deadline, and we've had some questions about ideas for